Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. If you're doing the contest, some of the elements, and what I feel should be in the speech. I have discussed these things with friends of mine who are world champions. I know three of them. And so, matter of fact, I wish I had known some of these things in 2018 when I went to the semifinal of Toastmasters International. The speech I'm giving today is not the speech I had then. This is a different speech. Now, I'm gonna say a few things before I begin. So you can see on here, the first thing I got, the preamble was know your audience. Who you speaking to? What is your job is the audience need, they're not to fit your need. So you need to know your audience. Second thing I would say there is, make sure I can see this, is the introduction, because it's very important, because you have approximately 20 to 30 seconds to captivate your audience. So there are a few ways you can do that. One of the things that the easiest way to do is to ask the audience a question, automatically they engage. If I ask you a question, automatically you engage because you're thinking about the question. So you want to get your audience engaged as much as possible. Then you go to your opening, your body, and how you approach that. So that has to become in there. What are you talking about? And ask yourself this question. As an audience, why should I listen to you? What's in it for me? That's what it's all about. What's in it for the audience, not for what's in it for you as the speaker. So you want to get that engaged. So I'm going to do the thing. Also, this particular speech I did at the district that got me into third place. And I wish I'd focus a little bit more on some of these things. So I'm just going to give you the speech, but it's not going to be the full speech because I don't have the time. And now I'll do this full speech next week when we do the speech-a-thon. That way you get the whole speech. But I'm just going to give it now just to give you a flavor. So this particular speech is called No Power. Raise your right hand if you went to your senior prom. Raise your left hand if you did not go to your senior prom. Toastmasters, friend, it was the week before my senior prom, the most important formal dance of the school year, and I didn't have a prom date. I stepped up to the bathroom mirror to adjust my afro, making sure every single hair was in perfect place. My WOG, wise old grandma, saw me and said, "You're going to that girl down the street, aren't you?" I said, "Grandma, Karen is the prettiest girl in the school. I'm afraid she might not go to the prom with me." Grandma looked at me and said, "Is fear causing you to doubt yourself? Has fear ever caused you to doubt yourself?" Grandma walked away. I sprayed my hair with some Afro sheen to give it that shine and glow. I no longer have an Afro, but I still have a shine and glow. I said goodbye to Grandma, grabbed the bouquet of red roses, walked out the door thinking, this is my last chance to ask Karen to go to the prom. I recall 3 weeks earlier, some friends and I were at the local diner. Sitting across from us was Karen and some of her friends. I thought about asking Karen to go to the prom, but I didn't have the courage. I was afraid I would be embarrassed in front of my friends that she said no. This is it. This is my last chance. I made it halfway to Karen's house. I saw Karen sitting on her porch. My heart swelled. Such an angel. Long black hair, big brown eyes, sparkling white teeth. A dream come true. Suddenly, a speeding red sports car came into a abrupt halt in front of Karen's house, and this tall, muscular guy jumped out, ran up on the porch, kissed Karen on the cheek. They got into the red sports car and away they sped. I threw down the bouquet of red roses, stumping them as I struggled with all my pride to hold back the tears in my eyes. My heart was crushed, just like those roses. When I got home, Grandma was in the kitchen baking cookies. She said, "How did it go?" I said, "Grandma, I was afraid to ask Karen out earlier. Looked like now she has a boyfriend and maybe a date and maybe a boyfriend." Grandma looked at me and said, "Remember this, fear has no power except what you allow it." I walked out and sat on the back porch thinking about going or not going to the prom. When Lisa, my 16-year-old cousin, came out and said, "Grandma said you don't have a date for the prom. Take me. Come on and take me. Please take me." Finally, I said, "Okay." Fast forward a week. My cousin Lisa and I arrived at the prom, the Taj Mahal Ballroom, crystal chandeliers, white marble floors, silk blue tablecloth with gold trimming. Lisa went away, was off from her friend, and away she went. I looked across the room and saw Karen sitting at a table all alone, wearing a pink gown with a blue carnation. Imagine sitting across from the most beautiful girl in the world. I wanted to walk over and ask her to dance, but the fear of failure gripped me that she would say no. Has the fear of failure ever held you back? Then I recalled Grandma's advice. She said, "Fear has no power except whether you allow it." Just then, Karen waved me over. With sweat and afro steam cascading down my face, a pounding heart, and Grandma's words ringing in my ear, I walked over and said, "Why are you sitting here all alone?" She looked up and said, "Waiting for someone to ask me to dance." I said, "Would you like to dance?" As we were dancing, Karen whispered in my ear, "Why didn't you ask me to go to the prom?" Seriously? Do it look like I have a death wish? That tall, muscular boyfriend of yours would crush me. No, that's not what I said. That's what I wanted to say. But I said instead in my sexy voice, "You're the prettiest girl in the school. I knew other guys would be asked you." Karen looked away. I looked up and I saw Karen's boyfriend headed our way. I said, "Thank you for the dance. Look like your tall, muscular boyfriend is back." Karen said, smiled, and said, "That tall, muscular guy, that's my cousin." What? And in that moment, Grandma's lesson became crystal clear. I realized that all my fears, the fear of being rejected, the fear of being embarrassed, and the fear of failure had no power. Where does fear come from? You are the source of your fear. I realized I gave fear its power. Oh, by the way, a few years later, I took back my power from the fear of being rejected and asked her to marry me. This year is our 40th wedding anniversary, and she's still the most beautiful girl in the world. Are you allowing fear to control you? You feel you're not good enough for that job. You fear a relationship out of being rejected. You still going to doing a speech because you fear you'll be judged. No matter what fear you might have, don't let it hold you back. Remember, fear has no power except what you allow it. Let's go, sir.
Thank you. Think about it. I've heard that speech before.